Alright, welcome back. Hope everyone's having a lovely day, a lovely night, wherever you're from. And real quick, before we get started, I want to give a lovely shout out to the channel members on this channel. So thank you so much to these lovely commanders here that you see on screen. Thank you guys so much for your guys' constant generosity and your support to me as always. It really means a lot to me, so thank you guys so much. If you guys are actually interested in becoming a lovely commander yourself, if you are interested in any of these cute and lovely emotes, loyalty crown badges, if you want a special role in the Discord, make sure to join the Discord. But as always, if you choose to do so, thank you so much. Just remember, that's not the only way that you can support me. Just watching the content like you are right now is truly the best way. Liking, subscribing, and commenting, everything really does help. So thank you guys so much. And for today's video, I already uploaded earlier today, but it looks like we got a double upload on our hands because ShiftUp just keeps churning out a lot of info. Really big stuff as well this time. It's going to be a fat update. So with all that yapping out the way, let's actually just get started. And let's actually put it on screen right here. And as always, we're at the Goddess Victory Nikke Twitter. New main chapters 35 and 36. Chapter 35, a conversation that lays the foundation for evolution. Chapter 36, a traitor who is betrayed. I wonder if that's going to refer to a heretic or something along that lines. We'll have to find out. Chapters 35 and 36 are about to begin. After the February 20th version update, entry requirements obviously complete Chapter 34 normal mode, and then we get a nice little image right here. This image is interesting to me. You see Cinderella, you see Grave, and you see Rappy. They're all looking down and almost hatred or just disappointment towards Levy. Obviously, if you don't know who Leviathan is or Levy, then, keep playing. Seeing Grave right there holding that chain out like that is crazy work. You can see Levy right there, and I think there's like a little bit of worry right there. Like I see like sweat marks on her cheek. It's going to be interesting to see how the story goes in regards to that, but this is kind of looking insane. I'm personally enjoying the story a lot. I've catched up with all of the story chapters so far, and I'm really loving it. It's starting to get really serious too. And it almost feels like you have to be catched up with the story if you really care about it so you don't feel spoiled, because the Rappy Red Hood event for New Year's came straight away from the end of chapter 34. Literally while going up the elevator and stuff and talking was the end of it. So it picks up right where it left off, which is crazy. So I feel like you almost have to be catched up if you don't want to be spoiled by big events like that, which is kind of wild to me. But I'm really looking forward to these chapters. Obviously, if you remember from the roadmap they talked about earlier, there is going to be a better chunk of chapters, especially for story this year. So if you are huge into the lore like I am, you're going to be eating good this year, which is great. Looking forward to the PV and looking forward to the patch notes whenever we get those. But this isn't the only thing we have to talk about today. We actually got some bigger news on our hands, and that's in regards to Ava. Remember back in one of my Ava videos, I talked about a PV that they talked about a while ago in regards to talking about the new Ava collab, and they talked about how there was going to be a rerun of the story, a rerun of Mari's banner. We actually got some clarification on everything that's going to be reran, and it's insane because the whole first collab is pretty much being reran. And the whole news is on Twitter. Let's actually go check it out real quick, because if we actually find out right here, summary of the first Ava collab rerun. The second Ava collab second quest is starting soon. In addition, the events of the first collaboration you cannot evade will also be reran for a limited time. And if we click right here and we can see everything, there are two images here, so let's actually break it down. Once again, one of them's kind of stacked, so I apologize if it's a little crusty. But the way that you cannot evade, or the first part of the collab is going to be reran, is that after maintenance, you're going to be straight away able to pull for the first version of Asuka. So I'm assuming after the first, maintenance finishes for the collab, you're going to be able to pull for both versions of Asuka if you want to, especially if you missed it. Following that week, on the 27th, we will be getting the rerun for Rei, and I'm assuming it's going to go alongside Rei as well for both versions of Rei's. And at the same time, you're going to be able to pick up Mari, which is great because she is also getting some extra costumes this time around. And if you missed out on the free SR, you are going to be able to pick up Misato, which is nice. It's still unfortunate that Misato was an SR because I really like Pen Pen, so it's kind of a shame, honestly. But it's nice that you're going to still be able to get her from the event shop. So there's not going to be any FOMO here in the sense that you're going to be able to try to pull for it again, but it's how much currency you have that you can afford all these banners. Because realistically, there is going to be 5 banners here, and that's a tough one. I think 5 at once is probably going to be one of our most, and that's kind of disgusting in my opinion, in terms of just like being egregious with all these banners. Alongside that, obviously we also have all the costumes to get. Now, the way that these costumes work here for the school uniforms, these are actually free in the sense that you don't have to pay for anything as long as you acquire the characters. In my book, I consider that free because pulling for the characters are already a given. So the moment that you pull for the characters, you also get their costumes. Out of all the costumes, I remember Mari's being my favorite just because it felt a little bit more unique and different in my opinion. And of course, if you want to, you can also pull for her costume gacha, which is her test plug suit, which honestly doesn't look that much different than the OG in my opinion. Kind of a shame, but I also do have the costume gacha, unfortunately, but hey, it is what it is. Don't forget that there is also event passes that you're going to be able to buy again from the in-game shop. Remember that we also have that costume rerun shop. I'm assuming this was a perfect time to reintroduce that for this collab as well. These are all going to be $20 each, which is insane because we also have the new costumes that we're going to be getting in-game for the new characters again, as well as another costume gacha, I believe, for Mari. So this is going to be insane whale-wise, especially if you're not catched up. It's a lot to break down, honestly. It's kind of insane. Other than that, you are also going to be able to get the other frames from the last collaboration that came out. Don't forget that with the last collab, we also got 3 different frames. They were all pretty nice looking in my opinion. I still don't use them that much. I still wish they were animated. I still wish we got animated frames, but it looks like the way that you get the frames is honestly just completing the different stories. Now, if this looks a little weird to you, don't forget that I think there were 3 stories this time for this event. There was a story part 1, a story part 2, a story part 3, and then a hard mode for that. This was a 4-week event when it came out. Now, I don't know if it's going to be different this time around, especially with this new event. We'll have to find out. But it's nice to see that they are rerunning a lot of things to try to help some of that FOMO that came out with this event, so a lot of people can grab everything, especially if they're a fan of this type of collab. I'm kind of glad I don't have to worry about any of this rerun stuff because this feels overwhelming in my opinion. I feel like with 5 banners, all these microtransactions, especially for the costumes and stuff, obviously most of it's optional, but if you want to go for everything, it's going to be a tough one. I'm going to be going for everything, but I already have everything from the first wave of the collab, so I don't really have to worry that much, thankfully. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are on everything. I'm really excited for the story. Are you going to be excited? Do you even play for the story, or do you kind of just like spam through it real quick? It's nice to see that they are doing a good rerun for this. Hopefully in the future we do get a new Nier collab and we get a Nier rerun as well. I know a lot of people kind of sad that they missed out on that, but it's nice that this brings an opportunity for future reruns maybe. Who knows? We'll have to see how it all goes, but for now that's going to be it for me. So I hope you guys have a lovely day, a lovely night wherever you're from, and as always, thank you so much for the constant support. Take care and have a good one.